John the Mouse.
The Square House. The Niedringhaus brothers of St. Louis sent lumber by ox cart from Dodge City and built the Square House on their N-Bar N Ranch here in Carlson County in the mid-1880s. In 1887, a railroad official occupied the Pioneer Cottage while the Southern Kansas Railway was being extended from Kansas to the Panhandle City. This was later the home of some distinguished settlers, pioneer banker and treasurer of Southern Kansas Railway Company, James Christopher Paul, rancher Judge J.L. Harrison, innkeeper James B. Wilkes, and Sheriff Oscar L. Thorpe. The oldest house in town. It was purchased in 1965 and restored as the Carlson County Museum. Panhandle. From tent city to tent city in 40 years. 1886 to 1926. Admission is free, however, donations are always welcomed. A letter from Temple, Houston. Written on stationery from the Paul Bank, this letter is to the Tutt family from Temple, Houston. Lawyer son of Texas, Hero Sam Houston, is the most prized possession of the Square House Museum. Temple Houston was the most famous lawyer of the Plains, and his legal counseling ranged from settlement of estates, theft of horses and cattle, to the more complicated questions of the eminent domain that involved the coming of the railroads, the fencing of the range, and the legal grazing of public lands. This Panhandle office was in the Paul Bank building. The bison hunt of 1870 brought hundreds of hunters, and with these long-range, accurate rifles, they destroyed the great herds. One hunter and two skinners could kill and skin 100 bison a day, but the average kill was probably less. The hides were shipped to St. Louis, and the bleached bones that covered the plains served as a grim reminder that the Indian staff of life was gone. The Indians, reduced to starvation, were sent to their assigned reservations, and the way was open for the creation of ranching empires. Later, when settlers came into this area, the bleached bones were gathered up, stacked as high as two-story buildings at the Panhandle, and shipped to St. Louis and New Orleans for fertilizer and refining of sugar. Proceeds from picking up bison bones enabled many of the pioneers to hold his claim and make the interest payments. U.S. Navy Model 1928 Thompson submachine gun. Al Holland, early settler on the White Deer's lands, was the second sheriff of Carson County after the town of Pampa was founded. Holland operated the Holland Hotel. Thomas Cree and his Little Tree. The Franklin Land and Cattle Company. The White Deer Lands, 1882 to 1957. The railroads. The caboose stove coal scoop, used on the Santa Fe. The flagman's lantern. This was used as a stop signal in later years, and then as a brakeman's lantern. Memorial plate. The Tea Party. In a more intimate social setting from 1890 to 1901, this family is hosting a party of their own. The little girl in the pink is treating her doll to a nice cup of tea while her mother lays the baby down for a nap. Manners and decorum were taught to children through playtime so that they would one day be ready to host their own adult tea party. During this period, the woman was solely in charge of the household. In this scene, the little girl is watching and mimicking her mother. She is learning the skills that she will one day need to care for a family of her own. Thank you for watching my video. I do have more for you to view. Just press on the button. And if you'd like to subscribe to stay up to date, you can push that button too.